Well, in our previous installment we had been talking about the preliminary concepts for Halloween Horror Nights 15. As I had said, those fine fellows in arts and design had come up with two completely different scenarios based on whether or not the event would be held at either Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios Florida. I had discussed at some length with the concept they created for Universal Studios Florida, but I had only just begun to touch on the idea that they came up with for Islands of Adventure. Yes, I had talked about this new icon of darkness. Not the one from Legend, but an entirely new concept in black, shrouded hood and robes, who would be the very personification of darkness itself. Perhaps to better give you an idea of what that meant, I was fortunate enough, along with those other people who visited the VIP lounge last year, to have seen the actual video presentation that Arts and Design had created to sell this concept to those people over in Hollywood, California, who make the decisions after being presented with scenarios from the creative people who work for them. And so they created this idea, this promotional video. Of course, they utilized material from popular culture to give the idea of what they wanted. The opening really gave it. It was a clip from the horror film, I think from the 90s. It was called They, a rather nondescript little film. Now it had its fans, but it really wasn't big. But it had to do with creatures that dwelled in darkness, that couldn't live in the light, and how they would come out and do terrible things to you. Sort of on the whole boogeyman myth. A later film, The Boogeyman, touched on this, and another film called Darkness Falls touched on similar theories. But this one here, these were, them, it, out there that are going to come and get you in the dark. And so it shows a little boy in his bedroom, and his mom tucks him in and turns out the lights. But as soon as the lights go out, there's darkness under his bed, and the darkness in his closet, and all the other sinister darkness in the corners and shadows of the room come to life and close in on him, and the horrible creatures that can only lurk in the dark, where all of your nightmares, terrors, and fears reside, hiding in the dark to terrorize you once somebody turns off the light. Yes, I'm half in darkness now as I speak. Yeah. Of course, they used other images from popular culture as well, and we saw them, and it made a bit of a chuckle because they were so recognizable. And they didn't mean, of course, that it would be exactly like this, but it would give an idea of what they had in mind. So when they showed, for example, a large image over the central location where there would be sort of a throne as you come in port of entry and come to the lagoon where darkness would reign, and the image was of no other person than the Emperor Palpatine, the evil emperor from the Star Wars franchise. They did not mean that Palpatine was going to be the icon. They weren't saying that the Emperor from Star Wars would be the icon. They were just saying that it'd be sort of like that with the evil eyes. You know, someone with a black hood and cloak with glowing glowing eyes who would be on the dark side of things. Sort of that, give you an idea of what it would be like. But it wouldn't just be him, you see. Because they also showed images from Harry Potter films with the Dementors circling around, flying through the skies, and that would also give you an idea of what darkness would be like. It could take many forms of all these shadowy minions that would take over Islands of Adventure. Ironically, the Emperor from Star Wars did ultimately appear at Halloween Horror Nights 15, but We'll get to that a little later, most likely on another video. And of course, Dementors from Harry Potter currently appear at Islands Adventure every day in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Yes, where you can wave your wand and say, "Disappearo!" Or, that's not right. Anyway, something. I was just thinking of a rather dirty joke, but we won't go there either. So, anyway, these things, of course, in those days, the whole Harry Potter wizarding world was not even on anyone's radar, as far as I know, in 2005. So, the idea actually was that darkness would descend upon Islands Adventure and claim it. And there would even be ideas of lights closing down throughout the park, coming closer and closer, and then the whole park would be in darkness. Certain houses would be set up that would be in darkness and freezing cold. And other houses would feature demons that worship darkness, and various of darkness's evil servants. And there would be a house, of course, a signature house, which featured that whole concept that from the They movie, that darkness lurks under your bed and in your closet, in the attic and in the basement. Darkness, the shadows come to life, and the evil of your nightmares and fears come to life within the darkness. These were ideas that were spreading around, and they presented this notion, this whole concept of darkness descending upon Islands Adventure. So they had these two ideas then. They had the choose your fate or meet your fate, Universal Studios Florida, and darkness descending and shrouding Islands Adventure, and they took both concepts and presented them to those wise people over on the West Coast, who are not creative people, who are interested in not the artists and dreamers and lunatics, whose job it is to come up with these crazy ideas, but the businessmen, the agents and bureaucrats, those people who in their own way can know what would work or what wouldn't work and would make the decisions. So there it went to them, and which did they choose and why? Well, why we probably never know, but they chose darkness. If you ask me, they had all chosen darkness a long time ago. Sorry. I didn't mean when they sold their soul before. I mean, I was talking about now. Okay, so yes, they picked darkness. They chose the Islands Adventure darkness concept over the Universal Studios Florida fate concept. If I had to pick the choice, I probably would have gone with the fate idea. I thought that when I heard those two concepts, that sounded better to me. But then I'm not a bureaucrat, and I don't make these sharp business decisions. In fact, you know, why they pick one idea over another, I can't I'm not to be cynical and try to come up with a motivation for someone that I don't even know, but it wouldn't surprise me if their motivations might have been based on, I don't know, which one would have required a larger budget to carry off successfully, which would be more economical to put on. Just a thought. Anyway, because we are talking about people whose the bottom line is more important than not the creative types who imagine all sorts of incredible things and worry about things like money to pay for it later, but people who think about money first and how this is going to sell, is it going to be popular, is this going to draw in the crowds, will it be too expensive to put on? That's what they're thinking. Okay, so that's had a lot to do with it, I'm sure. So the decision was made. So when A&D got the word, It's going to be Islands Adventure, your darkness concept. They got to work. They got their pencils and their papers, and they started writing and drawing pictures, and they started designing houses and scare zones and shows and ideas, and they started bustling. Yes, this is what we're going to... Hey, chainsaws are scary, and you can chase people with them, but what's bigger and makes a louder noise and you can chase people with too? Motorcycles! We'll have darkness minions riding motorcycles, and they start designing the houses, and and of course the whole process of getting work permits and blueprints and everything started going and buzzing, because they're talking, it's early 2005, the wheels are turning, they're getting all this going, because in the summer of 2005, maybe as early as May, they're going to start building this stuff, and then getting it going, and so that by September they can dress the streets and get everything ready to open up for Halloween Horror Nights 15. So they're getting ready, and they're working, and they've got all 8 houses designed. Yes, I said 8. Not 7. 8. But Dr. Jimmy, there were only 7 houses that year. I remember, because I went to Halloween Horror Nights 15. Yes, Johnny, you're right. Or Billy, or Bob, or Siegfried, or whoever the hell just said that. You're right. There were only 7 houses at Halloween Horror Nights 15. But they had designed 8. Yes, and they had them all planned out exactly what they're going to be. And then, as the locomotive was chugging and they're getting ready to start, actually, it's April. They're going to be building these houses within a month. They're getting so excited, all of a sudden, telephone. It's Mr. Boss, bureaucrat, head honcho, bean counter from California, calling Florida and saying, "Yo, that concept for Halloween Horror Nights 15 that we approved? Yeah? Well, we decided we don't approve of it anymore. Yeah, we decided that darkness just... darkness! That darkness scared me. That darkness was just not the right... we're just not going to go with that. So, we still want it for Islands Adventure. That's a good idea. But what you need to do now is to come up with a completely new overall theme, new icon character, completely new way of promoting the event and what it's all going to be about. Just get that all done in the next 2 weeks. Okay. And on whoever it was on the phone, whether it was TJ or whoever, was like, because it's like one of those classic "oh shit" moments, because now they have to do everything. They have to come up with everything new in 2 weeks. So they're racking their brains. What the hell are they going to do? The darkness they can't use anymore. Well, they've already designed these houses. They can't change them now. They don't have time to design new houses. They just have to come up with a new theme, a new icon, and get that out there. And make one that works and hopefully they'll approve of. Oh, geez. We have to find one that fits with the houses we have. I mean, we have to find some way to rework the houses a little bit, but still make them fit in with whatever this new theme is. What the hell can we do? And so they're thinking about it. Okay, Islands Adventure. We got all these different islands that are different worlds. We go back to the past in Jurassic Park. We go to Toontown or Seuss Landing, which we can't use anyway because of the Seuss lady. And we got, the entranceway is like you're going through a different world with all those different... It's almost like being in different countries at the same time. It's all jumbled together like some strange new country. Hey, the Lost Continent. We've got, it's like Tolkien or Narnia, or, it's got that sort of, got Merlin there, and you got Poseidon, Greek Romans, but it's also like, it's like being in a different world. It's like, Middle Earth or Narnia or some other country. That's it. That's it. We're going to turn Islands Adventure into a country, a continent of evil, an entire land like something out of a twisted high fantasy concept, turned upside down into a nation of terror, ruled over by an evil overlord. Yeah, an evil ruler, a wicked queen. Yes! The Terra Queen, Queen of Terra Cruentis. The land soaked in blood. And we are approaching 15 minutes, so at that point I give you part 2, and we must now come back to part 3 later.